got a lot to talk about with UFOs today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh yeah, and by the way, I feel a lot better today. So yeah, I think I'm out of the woods. So fingers crossed, don't want to jinx it, but I'm doing good. Okay, from Askapol, Matt Laszlo, Senator Peters doesn't recall seeing pictures of what Air Force shot down in 2023. Askapol asks of Senator Gary Peters, Democrat, Senate Armed Services Committee, did you ever see the images of what the Air Force shot down over Michigan last year? I may have. I don't recall. Really? You may have. You're gonna see pictures of a UFO shot down, and you're not gonna recall it, right? Yeah, I mean, come on. You either recall that or you don't. If you saw it, you're gonna remember it, unless he just sees so many pictures of shot down UFOs. I mean, who does he think we are, guys? This is ridiculous. That was a long time ago, he says. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a year ago or whatever, right? Yeah, I believe him. Sure, why not? Yeah, well, so what do you guys think? Does he genuinely not remember pictures of a UFO shot down, shoot down, or is he, telling a whopper? Telling a whopper, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, I've showed you a video yesterday of the blue sky over Mars. Well, check this out. This is a Martian sunset. That is what the sun looks like on Mars. That's crazy. That is a sunset on Mars. I wonder if the perspective would be a little different or the size would be a little different if you were there in person. Sometimes things don't always look like the way they do in a picture. You take a picture of the sunset here on Earth, and unless you're framing it the right way or zooming in, it might appear to be small. It wouldn't appear to be that small. So I'm curious to see how it actually compares to what we see. But obviously the Mars is much further away, so it is going to be smaller. It almost looks like the moon in that picture. Which is crazy. It's crazy if it really is that far away so that it sees the sun so differently. Meanwhile, speaking of suns and moons, the supermoon is coming. That's right. From space.com, the supermoon, blue moon, is coming. Here's what to expect. The next full moon will occur at 2:26 p.m. on Monday, August 19th. But it won't just be any old full moon. It will be a supermoon, blue moon. I'm not sure why we need a supermoon in a moon, two moons in there, but I guess it's so moony that we need two moons. Sounds pretty cool, but what does it mean? Let's take a look at what a supermoon and a blue moon is. The term supermoon was first coined by astrologer Richard Noel in 1979 as either a new or full moon that occurs when the moon is within 90% of its closest approach to Earth. Full supermoons are the biggest and brightest full moons of the year, apparently approximately 30% brighter and 14% larger than usual. Okay, very interesting. However, in some instances, a supermoon can appear huge. Most of the time, though, this has nothing to do with astronomy and everything to do with how the human brain works. This is known as a moon illusion. That tricky moon. This illusion occurs because of how our brain interprets size and distance. When the moon is near the horizon, we see it along the trees, buildings, and other objects. This gives us a sense of scale. August's supermoon will be the first of 4 this year, with the others occurring on September 17th, October 17th, and November 15th. The closest supermoon will be October's Hunter's Moon. So very, very interesting. Never heard of a supermoon before, but now we've got a supermoon, blue moon, guys. So pretty cool. But you know what's not cool? CERN opening portals to other dimensions and letting other dimensional beings come in. Well, that is exactly what Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger is saying, who knows some of the CERN scientists. And she is saying this is actually happening, that people in CERN are opening portals for beings from other dimensions to come in, whether intentionally or not. Let's give a listen.
Fields.
Before we sorry, if I can just pause you.
Yes,
you just said something which made my ears prick up. They are part of CERN.
Yes, because actually CERN is dealing with radionuclear research.
Right.
It's nuclear research. But it is more than that, because there are lots of physicians, I know some, they're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes. And they were saying, I mean, I met them at a dinner, and there were two of them. And both said that, yes, they have, secondhand proof that the people who they're dealing with the boson of Higgs and the subatomic things. So they have apparently in the bottom of the CERN this portal, this door where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions, they say.
Okay, subatomic dimensions. Well, maybe they're very small other dimensional beings that are coming through. I don't know, guys. Very interesting. Of course, she's getting this second hand, and we're getting this third hand through her. So, who knows what the truth is. But definitely makes me raise an eyebrow about what's going on at CERN. So let me know your thoughts, and if you have any insight into what that might all be about. We do have a new review, the first review for Lou Elizondo's book Imminent, coming out imminently. Christopher Mellon is talking about it. Here's a New York Times review of Lou Elizondo's new book Imminent. And I went to click on it, but it is hidden behind a paywall. So I'm not subscribing to New York Times, but thank you, New York Times. Yeah, there you go. New review, and I will link to Chris's tweet about it, and you can click on that. And if you are a subscriber to New York Times, you can read the review for Lou's book Imminent. Me, I'm already sold. I've already got my copy ordered, and I'm really looking forward to reading that and sharing my thoughts on it with you guys. And I hope you share your thoughts on it with me. Meanwhile, I know you're all asking, what about Bigfoot? Okay, Jack hasn't talked about Bigfoot in a while. Well, guess who is talking about Bigfoot? Bashar. That's right, Daryl Inca / Bashar is giving us answers on the reality of Bigfoot. Who is Bigfoot? Well, let's find out.
So the Sasquatch, are they related to like Cro-Magnon? There's a lot of stories about that.
They are mostly related to the idea of the early naturally evolved hominids on your planet that you refer to as Homo habilis.
Oh, interesting.
Homo erectus.
Cool.
The idea of the ancient extraterrestrials called the Anu, who arrived on your planet hundreds of thousands of years ago and used some of those early hominid beings to inject genetic material in them and create Homo sapiens, did not necessarily use every branch of the hominid. The ones that were not altered by extraterrestrial genetics continue to evolve into what you now understand to be Sasquatch. Therefore, they are the naturally evolved hominid of the Earth. If the extraterrestrials had not altered the DNA of some of the Homo habilis, Homo erectus beings, today you would all be Sasquatch.
I believe it.
But they have evolved to the point where they understand how to use interdimensional vortices, and that's why they're so difficult to find.
That's
Okay, there you go. I mean, Bigfoot is definitely very interesting. Does seem to be able to phase in and out of reality as we know it, possibly going to other dimensions or other worlds or parallel realities. Bigfoot is so interesting because of that, and also because there seems to be differentiation of Bigfoots across the world. Different groups of Bigfoot behave and act differently, it's strange. Bigfoot is weird, guys. Makes sense, Bigfoot. I don't know if I completely buy that. First of all, the aliens made us, although I think, it's very likely that we were made or it helped along. I think it's very likely. What makes me doubt it is that beings have told people that in at least 6 different ways that I've come across. Seems to be a narrative that they are trying to advance, and none of those accounts match each other. They're all wildly different. So all 6 of them can't be true. So maybe none of them are true. So I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I do think it's likely that maybe at least they're directionally, accurate, right? Maybe. I think that it's very likely also that life was created on Earth. I think that the likelihood of DNA forming naturally is very low. So, wouldn't surprise me at all if they had a more direct hand in evolution, or somebody did, in making things happen. And we know that at least some of the beings definitely enjoy genetic tinkering, or at least they do that as a means to an end. So, why not us, right? Why not us? So is Bigfoot what we would have looked like if they hadn't done that? If they did? I don't know, guys. That's a fascinating thought to consider. And, if that's true, and these Bigfoot have evolved to be interdimensional beings, being able to open portals and stuff up, then have we been robbed of something by not being a Bigfoot? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's very intriguing. Let me know your thoughts about that. Oh, and I did want to touch on the interview that I was going to have with the man known as Whistleblower on Twitter. People know his name now because some information has come out about him. Very, very interesting and very scandalous. He is currently in prison right now. And has been for years. This is his 2nd conviction for bank robbery. That's right. That is what he is convicted of. He has maintained his innocence, says he was framed, and he claims to have received, because he's not a military guy or an intelligence guy or an insider into the UFO, control group. However, he claims to have known somebody that was, and to have received 6 briefings from this guy. Getting a lot of information about what's going on with the beings and so on. What makes me take him more seriously than others might take him is that I've heard behind the scenes that the guy that he got this information from was legit. This man whistleblower, and by the way, his name is kind of known now on Twitter, but I'll maintain his anonymity for now, anonymity. I can say that word, guys. Because he still calls himself Whistleblower on Twitter, and until he outs himself, I'm not going to give his name, but it is known by some on Twitter, in other places. Anyway, he claims that this insider man was his mentor. I don't know how that came to pass or how that makes any sense, but behind the scenes, I've heard that this mentor fellow was legit and did indeed have inside knowledge. And I say did, because he passed away a few years ago. So, it's hard. He's obviously not going to be able to corroborate this. And the source that I heard it from was secondhand, is also not going to publicly comment on this. Although it'd be great if he did, because a lot of people trust him. And it would certainly help Whistleblower's case a lot. Anyway, I have postponed that interview for the moment until some of the dust settles, and also so my throat clears up a little bit. I'm feeling a lot better, don't get me wrong, but an hour or 2 interview might be a little long for me to talk. Anyway, so I think this guy might have actually received some really juicy information, but without being able to explain why I think that, or who is, saying this. It's hard. It's going to be hard for the audience to accept. It's hard for I wouldn't. I was skeptical until I heard that too, and I wouldn't blame anybody for being skeptical. Without being able to, tell that part of it, I feel like it's probably the better course of valor at this point to back off from that interview until some of the dust settles and maybe some pieces start coming together a little bit more. Meanwhile, encouraging news on Reddit. Remember the story I reported on a couple weeks ago about the Reddit moderator for, I think, Our Aliens, the former moderator, coming forward talking about how there was deliberate interference on Reddit by the powers that be. You know, creating bots and, having agents come on these platforms and try to sow division. They would pose as opposing, sides of the conversation, fighting with each other, trying to get more and more people to fight with each other and just create confusion and chaos and getting people to fight with each other instead of getting at the truth. And I'm sure that's widespread across multiple platforms, and it probably doesn't just end at aliens or UFOs. It probably extends to politics and other stuff as well. The powers that be are pretty crafty, and they like us fighting with each other instead of, opposing, whatever needs to be opposed, right? But getting back to the encouraging part of this, here it is. Repost for visibility. Important notice. In response to overwhelming requests, adjustment to subreddit rules. As you have likely noticed, the subreddit has been overrun with bots and bad actors. We've heard your concerns, and in an effort to clean things up, making it a safer place for users to discuss the topic, the subreddit rules will be very strictly enforced for the foreseeable future. What this means specifically is violations of subreddit rules will result in immediate permanent bans. It goes on a little bit. It doesn't specifically talk about how they're going to get rid of bots and, identify agents. But at least they are trying to do something about it. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, that this brings some level of, more, rational discourse back to Reddit. Last but not least, behold, the Queen of the Night. I love this flower because we actually have one of these plants in our backyard. It's this huge, big cactus thing. And every now and then it will bloom one of these flowers. In fact, last week we had a situation where it bloomed 12 on one night. It was an amazing thing. These things only flower for one night, and they bloom at midnight. And they have a really distinct, spicy smell. Okay, my voice is killing me, guys, but let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, the bell to be notified of future videos. Buy a coffee mug or a t-shirt if you want in the merch store. Become a channel member. Become a rock star. That'd be awesome. There's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with the Cosmic Road. I can get through this sentence. Signing out.